Welcome back inside the Stingray Show. We just finished up with David Johnson, Ole Miss Insider, talking about this matchup from the Ole Miss side. And now we're going to discuss it from the LSU side. And we're going to throw you guys a little bit of a curveball because usually when we do these interviews, we get beat writers. However, tonight I'm about to be joined by an individual who played in this matchup back in 2014, who had the game winning touchdown to upset number three Ole Miss for the LSU Tigers. He is a native of Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Please help me welcome back to the Stingray Show, Mr. Logan Stokes, who was a tight end for the LSU Tigers. Logan, how are things with you as the LSU Tigers sit here getting ready to invade Oxford, Mississippi?
Stingray, first off, thank you so much for that introduction. That was great, by the way. Hey, I played in 2013 and 14.
Yep.
So yeah, but yeah, thank you so much for the introduction. And hey, the Tigers are 4-0, so I'm doing great, Stingray. How about you? How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Unfortunately, though, we're already 5 weeks into the season. It is flying by.
Going so fast, isn't it?
Yep.
It seems just like yesterday. I was getting so anticipated for that Clemson game, and now we're in the Ole Miss. It just happened so quickly.
Yep.
You blink your eye, you're in week 5 right now. That quick.
So, Logan, let's go on ahead and start this interview talking about your catch against Ole Miss. That was the game winning touchdown pass there in 2014 as you guys upset number three Ole Miss. Walk us through that play and what that excitement was like for you to have the game winner against Ole Miss.
Yeah, so that was a great play for me, Stingray. But if you go back, I think that entire drive, Stingray, I don't think it gets enough credit, right?
Yeah.
There was a 93-yard, 12-play drive, and we ran the ball 11 plays in a row. We just warmed right down the field.
Yeah.
Just handoff left, right, up the gut. We literally just imposed our will on them, and it was a dogfight, right? And it came down to I'm very fortunate, I'm very blessed that they called that play for me. We had ran that play so many times earlier in the year. I had so many opportunities to score on similar plays. It just didn't work out. But we knew going into the week, as we were preparing for Ole Miss, I mean, when we do our goal line period at the end of practice, when we're working in the red zone goal line period, we knew that if we got in that situation, we were going to call this play.
Right.
So I was prepared for it. I knew it was coming if we got in that situation, right? And we did. It just so happened we did get in that situation. And, they called my number. And funny story, Stingray, about that play, we had prepared all week long for Ole Miss to be in this defense. This is what they run on the goal line. We prepared for it all week. So get up there. They called my number. I'm trying to stay calm. I'm trying to relax. I know, hey, there's only one place that Anthony can throw this ball, and it's to me.
Yeah.
So I know either I'm getting the ball or he's going to take off running with it or he's going to throw it away. We get up to the line of scrimmage, and at the last minute, Ole Miss shifts, and they're not in the defense that we had originally prepped for.
Right.
So I kind of glanced over at Anthony, and he gave me the head nod like, hey, we're doing it. We're running it.
Right.
I didn't really know which guy. So I was supposed to do like a bluff block is what it is, where I jump out like I'm cutting them and get up and run. I didn't know which one of the two guys to really bluff. So I just kind of jumped out at both of them, Stingray. I just jumped out, didn't really know what to do, and I just got up. And I'm going to tell you, Kenny Hilliard, if you go back and watch that play, if it wasn't for Kenny Hilliard, who was our running back on that play, he was our goal line tailback. He sold it. He took a fake handoff. He dove over the pile, and he brought everybody with him, and it just let me escape right out of the back. Ended up catching it, a great moment, touchdown. Hey, it's something that myself and the LSU fans will remember forever. It was a great moment for me, man, and I'm very blessed and fortunate to have that opportunity.
Now, Logan, it is known as the Magnolia Bowl, and there is a little bit of a rivalry aspect to this game. Talk about when you were a player, talk about the rivalry that you felt like that it was when you had to face off against Ole Miss.
So going back to the Magnolia thing, Stingray,
Yeah.
no one that I know, we don't really consider it the Magnolia Bowl.
Okay.
I think, well, I mean, listen, it is the Magnolia Bowl. I think that's more of an older generation thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, no, we just consider it LSU versus Ole Miss.
Okay.
So I think, and hey, that could just be me. I mean, for all the listeners out there, I don't know. That's just me and like from my experience.
Hmm.
But I think when you talk about that rivalry, I think more than anything, it just has so much history behind it and longevity behind it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've played Ole Miss second to every team that we've ever played. So we've played Ole Miss as much as we've played anybody, essentially. We've also beat Ole Miss more than we've ever beat any other team that we've played.
Yeah.
But then when you talk about that rivalry, Stingray, it is again the longevity piece to it. But again, there's been so many big moments in
Yeah.
these games that I think keep it relevant. You had the Billy Cannon punt return on Halloween. Then Odell Beckham did it years later, essentially the exact same punt return on the exact same field when Odell did it. Then I had the touchdown pass. Then Leonard Fournette broke the rushing record. And then vice versa, they've had their moments against us, right? I don't want to sit here and say that it's our biggest rivalry. It's not. And I think to some degree, Stingray, you could make the argument that every team in the SEC that plays each other, there's some sort of rivalry between everybody.
Yeah.
That's why the SEC is what it is. But again, it's always a great matchup. And I think to some degree, I think LSU fans kind of look at Ole Miss like a little brother to them.
Right.
And that's no disrespect to Ole Miss. I think just I mean, we won like 10 games in a row at one point. So the rivalry kind of died a little bit. But over the course of this past like 10 or so years, it's kind of went back to that ping pong, right? Where it's back and forth and the games are great. They're coming down to the wire. So it does make the rivalry much more intense. And if you don't think it's a rivalry, you better learn how to think it is because we're stuck with Ole Miss for the next 4 years. So we're going to play them every year for the next 4 years.
All right. So there is a lot of talk, even with Brian Kelly going off on a reporter about the issue of this LSU offense. You are
Mm-hmm.
an offensive lineman there at tight end. Give us your thoughts, and especially because you saw this offense in person a couple of weeks ago when you went down to LSU versus Florida. Talk about what you've seen from this LSU offense and how they can fix it.
Well, first off, Stingray, I want to say I felt so bad for that reporter.
Yes.
I felt so bad for that reporter because he was just doing his job.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, if Brian Kelly wouldn't have called on him, whoever he called on first was going to ask that question.
Yes.
It's a fair question and it's a valid question. Okay. Now, just speaking on the offensive line, we have 5 brand new starters on the offensive line.
Yeah.
We had to replace 4 that went to the NFL. We went and got some out of the portal. We're replacing 5 guys up front. That is a very, very tough challenge. That's hard to do. So at this point, when we played Clemson, it wasn't pretty. We didn't run the ball well. So there you can hit the concern button a little bit, but also no one really looked too far into it because hey, there's only so much that you can do during training camp, right? During fall camp. you have like a 4.5 week period. You're not going to win the national championship in that 4.5 week period. So you're going to have to work the kinks out, right? You've got a group of 5 guys up front. And again, I made the reference to you before. When you think about the offensive line, you have to look at them and think of them as 5 guys that are in like a dance choreograph, right?
Right.
So if one guy is out of position or off rhythm or something, it throws everybody else off. And one missed block can screw up everything, right? And it takes a little bit of time for those guys to learn how to gel and get on the same page.
Yeah.
So we didn't look good against Clemson. Okay, we get it. Let's figure it out. We didn't look good against Louisiana Tech. Oh, okay, so now what's going on? We did not look good at all against Florida, which is where Brian Kelly, acted up a little bit. But I mean, we ran the ball for 44 yards up until Caden Durham broke it for 51 yards. At the end of the game was essentially over at that point. And then we didn't really look great last week against Southeastern. Now, we put up 56 points, but we didn't look great. So I do think that it's a very fair and valid question. And I think the question that myself and all the fans and beat writers, everybody wants to know is, hey, is this a situation where we've got some guys that are banged up?
Yep.
Is there some just gel issues here? Are we still trying to work it out? Are we still trying to figure it out? Or are we just not that talented? And I sure hope that it's not the latter where we're not that talented, because we went out and spent a lot of money on some of these guys, right? And I think where the issue is arising now, Stingray, is we've had our struggles early on in the year, but we're not improving. So if you're not making progress, then it's a valid question to what are we doing? What is going on?
Yeah.
Right? So I think that is the big question. And I think this week at Ole Miss is going to be a great opportunity to answer a lot of questions. And we're going to find out, hey, is it a gel issue? Or is it we're just not that talented? I mean, Ole Miss, out of 136 teams, they're in the 120th, like in the 120s in rush defense. They're terrible up front.
Yep.
So we have a great opportunity to prove ourselves this week and get back on track and run the football and show that, hey, we're getting better. We're working these kinks out. If we can't run the football, then, I mean, what are we going to do? Because at that point, then you start to question the talent level there.
So, Logan, we are up against our final break of the evening. When we come back on the other side of this break, we are going to dive into where you think LSU can take advantage of Ole Miss and where you're concerned that Ole Miss can take advantage of LSU. That's on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Stingray Show. We will finish it up right after this. Welcome back inside the Stingray Show. My LSU guest this evening is Logan Stokes, who is a former LSU tight end who played in 2013 and in 2014 and is a native of Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and had the game-winning touchdown against Ole Miss back in 2014 when they upset number 3 Ole Miss there in Tiger Stadium. Logan, when you look at this matchup on Saturday, where are you most concerned that Ole Miss can take advantage of your LSU Tigers?
So anytime that you have a Lane Kiffin offense, I think you have to be concerned about that, right? I mean, he's known as one of the best play callers, arguably, to ever like coach the game. I don't know, and that may be a little bit dramatic, but right now in this college football era, he's one of the elite play callers.
Yeah.
So he's going to know how to score points. Now, my questions are is, listen, so far, and what we all believe and what we all think is that LSU has a championship caliber defense,
Yeah.
one of the top, if not the best defense in the country. We also have not seen a caliber of offense like what we're going to see on Saturday with Ole Miss.
Right.
So I think that is going to be a big question mark. And then secondly, it just has to go back to the offense, right? Is if we can't get the run game going early, and if we can't get listen, we throw more screens than anybody in the SEC other than Georgia. We
Yeah.
throw so many screen passes, and we're not very good at them. We're dead last in play action pass. So we've got to figure out a way to move the football. That is the
Yeah.
bottom line, right? We have to get the play action going. We've got to get the run game going, because if you can't get the run game going, you can't get the play action going.
Right.
So we need to get the run game going. We need to get all of these stud receivers that we brought in and all of this talent and firepower that we have on the outside and in the slot. We need to get these guys going.
Yeah.
And we need to get Nussmeier rolling too. And I know that he's been battling that torso injury. I know, he's been banged up. He's getting healthy. This is going to be a week where he needs to step up. And Nuss needs to be Nuss. Our offensive line, we need to get the ball down the field. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. At some point throughout this season, our offense is going to have to win the game for us. Our defense can't win it every game. We can't expect our defense to come up with 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
You go back to that Florida game, Stingray. Out of those 5 interceptions, what we put points up on
10.
2.
10 points.
We put 10 points up. We only scored out of the 5. We only put points up like out of 3 of those, and one of them was that last pick of the game when we put points up on 2. We could have put up on 3, right?
Yeah.
So what happens if we don't get those picks, Stingray?
Correct.
I'm sorry. Go back to that. Like, what happens if we don't have 5 picks?
Mm-hmm.
What does that game look like then?
Yeah.
So I think the big question, and it's a very, very fair and it's a very valid question, is, hey, how good is our offensive line? Are they good? And then Nussmeier, everybody had him predicted to win the Heisman at the beginning of the year, and now we're all kind of like what's going on?
Yeah.
So where Ole Miss, what I'm concerned about with Ole Miss is like, hey, they're going to put points up. I'm just telling you, they're going to put points up. And if they don't, I think it'll be a low-scoring game.
Yes.
Our offense just needs to show up. We need to be able to run the ball. We need to get the screen game going early. We need to get the run game going early. We need to be able to get that going so we can take the play action. We can take a shot downfield. We can start attacking them vertically. That's what we're going to need to do. It's going to be a dogfight, Stingray, one way or another.
Right.
I truly believe that. I think it's either going to be a very high-scoring game or I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. And I think it's regardless of which way it ends up, we're going to find out a lot about LSU's offense, and we're going to find out about Ole Miss on their offense and defense as well. So I'm very excited about this game. I think it's a great test for both teams. I think it's a great test and a great opportunity for LSU. So we will definitely see, Stingray. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Hey, you're the guest. I'm interviewing you, so
No, I've been sitting here talking, but I want to know. Listen, give me your thoughts. Listen, you know football as well as anybody. So, what do you think?
Ole Miss's defense cannot stop a nosebleed right now, and I think that plays into the hand of a struggling LSU offense that they can actually start to find their footing this weekend. I'm going to tell you right now, I've got LSU winning that football game, even though it's in Oxford.
Well, I will tell you this: looking at the early lines right now, LSU is an underdog right now. Ole Miss is a 1.5-point favorite, and they've got the under over at 54.5. That means they're expecting some points to be put up.
Yeah,
I've seen so many predictions where people think it's going to be a 28-24 game. It's going to be something like that. I could easily see it being a 28-24 game, like a kind of a shootout, because again, you've got a Lane Kiffin offense and then you've got a bad defense. And I think that our offense can score if we can get it rolling.
yes.
But vice versa, I could also see our defense, championship caliber defense, and then our offense is not very good. I could see it being low scoring. That's where I don't know. I'm trying. I'm still trying to figure out which way I want to lean, but it is interesting. I'm excited to see it.
How do you see it? Go on ahead and give us a prediction. LSU Ole Miss, your arch rival. How are they going to do?
I don't know if I would say arch rival. I think our arch rival would have been. I think you could consider Alabama our arch rival. And how
Okay.
about that? Can you believe they're taking the LSU Alabama game away? That is
I know.
unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
But oh, Stingray, you put me on the spot here. I guess I really think it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to go over 54 and a half. I think if Ole Miss puts up 31 points or 32 points or whatever, I think LSU is going to. I think it's going to be a tough day for them. Like that's where our offense is going to have to win it. If we can't stop them, it's going to be tough. I think if I'm going to make a prediction right now, I think 21-13 LSU.
Wow. That's great, man.
I'm going 21-13 LSU.
All right.
I could be wrong. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, listen, it could be a 40 to 35 game. Who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see. But I personally think LSU's defense is going to show up because Blake Baker, we have them rolling right now. We're going to show up. I think that our offense, I think we're going to make plays at times, but I think we're still going to struggle.
Yeah.
And I think that their offense is going to struggle against our defense. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. And I think that the fact that it is a 54 and a half spread or like under over right now says something.
So, Logan, look, man, are you making the trek over to Oxford, Mississippi for that game?
Stingray, I want to so bad, but I'm not going to make it this week. And also, it's going to be so packed in Oxford.
Yes. Yes.
And it's a 2:30 game. And by the way, I know that just eats Lane Kiffin alive. He has fought tooth and nail to try to get those 6 o'clock primetime games in Vaught Hemingway Stadium, and he can't do it
Yes.
because they schedule these big games, but they schedule another one. So you've got Alabama, Georgia playing,
Yeah.
and you got LSU, Ole Miss playing. Like you can't not put Alabama, LSU in the prime or Alabama, Georgia in the primetime spot, right?
Yeah.
So you asked your guest on the last show if that was a tough like place to play at, or maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was a different. But if it was a tough place to play at nighttime, we played them in 2013 Stingray at nighttime, and they beat us. Zach Mettenberger threw 4 picks.
Yeah.
We struggled against them. That was the beginning of the land shark defense and all that.
Hmm.
Playing there at 2:30 in the afternoon, it's just not the same. It's really
Right.
not.
Yeah.
So where you come to Death Valley and play, we have an advantage in that regard, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they have an advantage there. I don't think that is going to, I think obviously it's going to be loud. It's going to get loud at times, but it's not going to be an advantage for them.
Logan, look, man, this has been an absolute blast. We would love to continue and have you on as a regular to talk college football because you give a different dynamic with being a former player. Go and enjoy watching LSU and Ole Miss, and I will leave you with this. Go Tigers. The
I love it, Steve Ray. Thank you, man. Hey, listen, I enjoy it, man. I appreciate it. Anytime you want me on, just let me know, man. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
buddy.
man. All right. So that is going to wrap up the Ole Miss and LSU preview show. Really do want to thank Logan Stokes right there, the former tight end from LSU, and David Johnson, Ole Miss insider, who joined us a little bit earlier. When we come back on the Friday evening edition of the Stingray Show, we are traveling down to College Station to talk about the matchup between the Gig'em Aggies and the Auburn Tigers. A&M is coming into this game off of a bye week, and Auburn is coming in pretty mad after the robbing that they did at the hands of the refs versus Oklahoma. We're going to dive into that matchup on Friday evening at 6 p.m., and we will see you then.